You alright guys, how we doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I wanted to talk about some misconceptions that I often find when talking to people when it comes to building muscle and also gaining strength and how the two are interlinked. So there's a bit more, you know, when I talk to anyone who's kind of like a novice or someone who doesn't like read up a lot, I don't want to kind of blame them for their ignorance. But anyway, I don't really want to blame them for having any ignorance towards the subject, but it kind of annoys me. But it only takes a simple thought process of just human biology to understand the connections between the two. If you want to build more muscle, then the body needs a reason to do so, okay? Muscle is very, very fucking expensive tissue. Muscle comes at the sacrifice of many things, right? And especially energy. And your body wants to do anything but put muscle on. In fact, it is the last resort for your body is to put extra muscle on. It does not want to. It's expensive. It takes resources that the body would normally not want to do. That's why when you see people who actually are in these tribes and stuff like that, they don't actually have a lot of muscle. They only have what they need. And the body's really good at doing that. The body really knows how much it needs to the precise amount. And in fact, you'll sometimes find that if you have the same strength and you don't want to move up and you don't put any more weight on, you might actually lose muscle because your body gets more efficient at using that muscle and it can sacrifice some more. So with that, when it comes to people looking to build muscle and not really understanding what it is, because you'll ask one bodybuilder and they're like, no, you need to eat. You ask another one, they're like, no, you're not training properly. You're not getting the connection in the muscle. There's so many people you could ask and they'll all give you a different answer. I'm going to put it even simpler. And I know you might ask, well, why the fuck would you listen to some guy standing in front of a fucking whiteboard? Just take what I say and listen and just maybe have a think about what I'm trying to tell you. So it's nothing complicated. There's no sales in this. You don't have to buy a supplement. You don't have to get on a diet program. You don't have to do anything, right? All you need to do is stop thinking that strength and muscle are completely disconnected. So when I'm in strength, let's just say like the numbers side of it, the numbers game. And let's say that the muscle is like, all your volume training that you're taught is a hypertrophy work, okay? So these two are really interlinked, right? So imagine a good mind game I play with people, well, not a game, but a scenario I run through people's heads whenever I have this discussion with them, is if a guy walked into the gym and he benched 220 kilos, right? So that's 5 plates aside. He's going to be a really big dude, right? And I go, yeah, cool, yeah, he's going to be fucking stacked. Right, so bench 5 plates then. Like, the answer's there. Like, all the biggest guys you know are lifting more than you. And maybe not even intentionally. Someone I go back to is like Dorian Yates. And he used a very high intensity, lowish volume kind of approach to training. So, but he was he was rowing like 4 or 5 plates. Really fucking strong guy. Look at Ronnie Coleman. He was squatting like 800 pounds for 2 reps. He's huge. Forget all the steroid use and, all of that stuff. Extremely strong. Really fucking strong. And that's not even their main goal. If you look at like any natural bodybuilder, right? They look pretty, flat because obviously they're on stage. If you looked at a powerlifter, right, who's been doing it, a seasoned powerlifter who's been doing it years, they're fucking jacked. Like, powerlifters are fucking jacked, but we just don't get ripped because it's not a part of what we do, right? And you know why? Because we move weight. The body has a reason to put that muscle on. So another example is without this. So the fella who I go through the scenario with benching 220 kilo, in order for him to bench 220 kilo, he needs a certain amount of muscle on his frame to be able to do that kind of task. He needs to be able to have the power in his body, to be able to lift that. It doesn't just come from the fucking soul. Bones don't move weight, right? Muscle does. So if he didn't have the muscle requirement to lift that, he wouldn't lift that. You can't just somehow have the skill to lift that. Even technique can only go so far. You do need the prerequisite for it and the movers, which is muscle, right? So he needs a certain amount of muscle for 220 kilo. If he wants to lift 240 kilos, he's going to have to put on some extra muscle. This is something that most powerlifters know, that every year that they have to do is try and cram on some extra muscle. See if they can maximize their weight class, right? These are things that we think of pretty much every single fucking year, is how can we get more muscle onto our frame for our height? Lean muscle tissue. More lean muscle tissue, the better, right? Because it helps our strength. But when we get stronger, the body adds more muscle, yeah? So, you can't have one without the other. So, and this is in like a natural arena, okay? Non-steroids. I know you might argue that there will be people in the circle that do steroids, blah, blah, blah. But, for people like me, I am the way I am, and I can bench what I can bench because I have the muscle I have in my body. If I had more muscle in my body, I'd be able to bench more. But I don't. So, and if I want to look better, so currently, actually today, a few hours before filming this video, I went to the gym. I got a new max of 182.5 kilos. So my current frame, my current muscle mass lifts 182.5. If I wanted to get to 190, most likely I'm going to have to put on a bit more extra muscle. Not a lot, but a little bit more. You can get a bit better with your like CNS training, stuff like that. You can improve your technique a little bit. Bench is my favourite lift, so my technique's pretty fucking spot on. But yeah, I'm going to need to get more muscle in order to build a better bench. And same with like deadlifts and squat. I really struggle with my squat at the moment, so we're going to have to build some extra muscle in the legs. This is just a simple way of thinking. Don't overcomplicate it with contractions and, oh, don't worry about the weight. Just get the reps in, son. Just get the reps in. Just the more reps you do, the better. Not really. If you do a bunch of rep sets, but they're all shit, it doesn't actually mean anything. So there is a term called junk volume, and I'm pretty sure some of you guys have heard of that. But if you're doing sets that aren't really that intense, don't really have that much weight on relative to a 1RM or whatever, they're not really fucking worth anything. You can go out and get pumped all day if you really like, but it's not actually going to provide enough stimulus for your body in order to gain that extra muscle. You have to go beyond what you're comfortable with sometimes, and you have to try those new weights and just reach the bar even higher. So yeah, it's never try and separate the two, because when it comes to training as well, it makes things a lot more simpler. Don't worry about rep ranges. There is no such thing as a true hypertrophy range. These terms are I really fucking hate the terms. Strength training range, the maximal power range, and it's like, if you want to build muscle, you can build muscle in any rep range. You can do sets of 3, 8 sets of 3 with a heavy weight, but it's going to fucking take you all day. It's probably ineffective for your training because you're going to be fried. Or you do 3 sets of 8, a lighter-ish weight, and really go for it and get that volume in. It's time. So you can do tricep extensions in triples if you really wanted to, but it's not a good idea. But you can play around with it. There's not a magical thing about 8 reps that your body just goes, wow, this is just the right spot. I've hit it. Or, sets of 12 really go well with curls, and I just like the bicep just loves a set of 12. It doesn't quite work like that. Muscle just comes over time, getting stronger, building more resilience to training stimulus, building more resilience to weight and sets, reps and fatigue, stuff like that. Anyway, if you really like this video, guys, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'm still kind of getting this YouTube and recording thing, trying to get the quality as best I can without YouTube absolutely demolishing it once I upload it. So currently now I'm shooting in 5.4K, I think. I know that most of that gets lost because YouTube wouldn't be able to showcase that kind of quality. But yeah, so if this comes up a bit fuzzy, please bear with me. I'm really trying my best to get the quality out there for you guys. But anything absolutely means the world, even a like, even a view. I don't get many views, obviously. I was 55 subscribers. But yeah, anything means the world, guys. And yeah, I hope you have a good one.